You're watching Taste the Victory.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are joined by Cayden, who top 16'd two huge Digimon events the past couple of weekends. They got 10th place at the Carta Magica Ultimate Cup event, and then they got 6th place, top 8 at the Play TCG Regional. So that is an amazing achievement, Cayden. Congratulations to you. So Cayden, you want to go ahead and give us an intro, and I know you have a channel of your own, so feel free to shout that out. And anyone else who would like to shout out, let us know.
Alright guys, my name is Cayden. I do have a YouTube channel. It's called Digiboy. It's Digiboi. I started the YouTube channel like a few months back. I did recently stop posting due to like actual life stuff, but I will get back on that posting. So yes, I did come 6th place in the Play TCG Regional, going with OTK Dorbickmon, a completely rogue deck that nobody expected in the meta. I took that tournament by storm. The funniest part to me is in the Ultimate Club, I played Melga 4 times in a row. 4 times in a row. Yeah. And my first match in the regional was Melga. So, you know, just a little angry about that, but I wasn't going to lose to it again. So, yeah, this deck has done great things for me. I spent literal, like, at least a month just cooped up in my room, coming up with this gelatinous thing that we call Dorbickmon. I'd love to give a shout out to my team, the Tama team. They're the ones that helped me deck test it. My friend like John, Mauricio, Cameron, they all helped me deck test it at the shop and online. So I was able to work out the kinks between different decks like Melga and a few people in the Digimon 2020 server. So I think we should get right into that deck profile then.
So why Dorbick, and then go through the card by card?
Oh, why Dorbick? I built this for and giggles. If I'm being honest, this was like a complete giggles deck. I was like, you know what? This is a stupid idea. Like me and my team, we love to play Jank. We just love to play Jank. Nice. We play one of these like rainbow security decks that just runs a bunch of security Digimon. So I put this together, right? I went through so many different lists, adding and taking out cards, so many different ratios, and I was so surprised in how good it was.
That's
I don't know. I was going undefeated for like a long time, and then I worked out some of the kinks with the deck, but I think I settled on a list that helped me get that 6th place. So let's just get right into it. So you only run about 4 eggs here, which is just the 4 Gigimon. It's just one attacking, draw 1 off the Guilmon, since you run the promo and the Guilmon X if you can't draw the promo Guilmon. So it's just your basic draw more cards egg, because the whole basis of the deck is just basically draw the cards and then kill someone. There's literally nothing else. And then obviously one of the best cards in the deck, this is the promo Guilmon. It's one attacking trigger, draw 1. In tandem with the thing, you swing, doesn't matter if they block, you draw 2 cards off of it. That's just extra card draw right there. Just to get right through it, because you really need to draw as much as possible, because Dorbickmon does take about 5 cards from your hand, 6 total counting the Dorbickmon, so you need as many cards as possible. Next option I run, this is like a really flex spot. I've seen people run different things, like the rare list I've seen. I run the when attacking a player, you get plus 2,000. With the meta now, there's a lot of big security bombs or big things in security, Deathxmon, sometimes an Omnimon, and like this just gives it plus 2,000 to be able to like swing into security without any issues, combined with like the Hiro and the other DP boosts you have in this deck. It just makes it a big boy. I mean, the max DP I've gotten was probably like 18k at like 1 swing. So this has saved me so many games. I feel like it's really important to have that DP boost when you play Dorbickmon, because you're really just trying to go for the finish. Next, just the next 3 rookies, just 3 Guilmon X. This used to be at 4. I had to cut out 1 because I had to add like other tech options. But Guilmon X is just when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2,000 DP or less. A cool combo I like to pull off that I don't usually get off if they have a rookie on board. I like to go Guilmon, swing for 2 if it survives. Just Guilmon X over it, pop their Digimon, it's gone. And this is also a Dark Dragon. It allows you to Digicross with Dorbickmon since it's Dragon, Sword, and Ceratopsian. And it allows you to add 1,000 DP to any DP deleting. So instead of deleting a 13k, you could possibly delete a 14k. I always thought of running the Greymon that gives an extra plus 1,000, but that wouldn't be as worth it as I thought it would. Because I'm not really focused on deleting, I'm mostly focused on the aggression and pushing down. Now we move on to the level 4s, the champions. We run 3 security attack Greymon. This is just, you know, your basic dinosaur that gives security attack plus 1. Nothing really good here. It's just the basic security attack that you might need, you know, to pressure down your opponent. This is where one of my techs come in. I run 2 KausGammamon. This doesn't do anything without Canoweissmon, but this helped my deck really get over the things it has trouble with, which is basically just blockers. I know when you play out Dorbickmon, you can pop something, you can pop their blocker, but if they have more than one, then you're kind of done there. Or if it's like Hexamon, where you can prevent deletion, you kind of combine KausGammamon with Canoweissmon. It just can't be blocked. The Digimon itself cannot be blocked, and if you have Majiramon under, you can just unsuspend its wing like multiple times, and you can't be blocked, which really just stops Hexamon and any blocker deck in general. Then just 2 copies of Jazardmon here. It's just all turns when this Digimon has an on-play, gains 1000. It really just brings up Dorbickmon's DP threshold from 12 to 13. There has been times when they're allowed to pop a 12k, but my thing is 13 because of Jazardmon, so that really just saves the Dorbickmon for a turn. And then 2 copies of Burning Grey. So this is one of the MVP cards of the deck. This is the hybrid to allow you to finish games, as well as a Dark Dragon. So even if you drive for the hybrid play, you will never break because it's still a Digicross material. So it's just your basic hybrid Digicross material. And then this is like the second MVP. This has won me so many games, so I keep it at 3. I upped it from 2 to 3. Majiramon. This thing says, when attacking, once per turn, if your opponent has no Digimon or Digivolution cards in play, unsuspend it. So in total, the max checks I've gotten with 2 swings was 8 checks.
Oh man!
And it was 8 whole checks, and it was a recovery deck. So they recovered their security, but Dorbickmon just said, "Oh, you recovered? What recovery?" And just wiped it all out again. One thing to note that people didn't know at first when I was playing this card is that they don't have to have a Digimon or Digivolution sources. If the board is clear, the card still activates. And I had to go through a few rulings with that with judges and some players during the regional because they wanted to like fact check it.
Yeah, absolutely. The wording is slightly different. Yeah.
It's slightly different. I think people played it that way, like back when the card was released in BT6, is when they waited for their opponent to have a Digimon with like no Digivolution sources in play. So I think that's how they played it back then. So that's why I just needed a quick ruling check on it. Then obviously 3 copies of MasterTyrannomon, just another security attack Digimon. It just gives your Digimon security attack, which is the best thing of this deck. What I'm thinking of doing is maybe cutting this down to 2. So I can add another like dragon with different names. Because I was thinking of cutting down 1 Master and 1 Greymon to bump them both to 2, and maybe adding like the new Dragon Link's Lava Garita, so I can work with just 2 memory instead of 3 all the time. Because sometimes you don't get out your memory team. Sometimes you have to rely on the memory boost. But I'm also thinking, if I cut these 2 out, how would my like security attack ratio be affected? It's the thing, because I run a lot of Digimon that give security attack. At the same time, sometimes I draw more than 1 copy, and sometimes I don't want that copy. There's games where I have all 3 of these in hand. No, not even Greymon having all 3. It's only these all 3.
Oh man, yeah.
And it's kind of weird because I don't know how I have like all 3 of the security attack, but I'm thinking of cutting down maybe 2 of those, like Lava Garita, so I can work with 2 memory instead of just having always rely on 3. And the second tech choice, which is just 2, Canoweissmon. This just triggers the KausGammamon can't be blocked. It may take up 2 slots, but at the end, you're already doing so much pressure damage that you don't need to worry about how many checks you do. You just gotta go for a game. There was this weird time when I played against Majiramon. They de-Digivolved one of my Dorbickmon stacks, and they had like 3 blockers on the field. So I put out a Dorbickmon that can't be blocked. They couldn't unsuspend because of Majiro, so I swung. They had no security. But then I realized, like late into the game, that they de-Digivolved my Dorbick into the KausGammamon. So I just swung for game since it couldn't be blocked. I get like these weird stacks. If you de-Digivolve my stacks, it ends up being so weird. So I have to really like work on how I stack the deck.
Okay.
Then 2 copies of Jazard. It's just this Digimon has an on-play gain security attack. Just again another security attack option. Most of my security attack options are kept at 2, so I don't break that much. But I'm thinking of cutting down those 2 to also 2 and adding 2 Lava Garita, because I feel like that would help the consistency overall, so I won't break on like beating 1 piece. Because without all 5, if you do 4, it's still it's 5 memory. It's 5 memory for that, which is a little crazy. And then 2 copies of Volcdramon. I loved it. I picked these up off TCG Player. I just wanted everything shiny. Shiny's best.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I couldn't. Then the boss monster, the MVP, the whole deck is based around just 4 copies of Dorbickmon. This card has always been the MVP. It is the best card in this deck because the whole deck is centered around it. 5 different Dragon, Ceratopsy, and you stack them under. You have so many like different options when you do this. You can have security attack, unsuspend, DP boosting. So I guess this deck is really flexible when it comes to what deck you're playing against, because you have so many different options to put under. So you're able to like work around it by using which piece for in every situation. So that's why this deck may have a pretty easy win condition, but it also requires a lot of strategizing and everything to know what you're playing against and to know what sources to use. And obviously, I could only get one of these copies. I couldn't. Nobody else I knew had any, so I will max that out soon. And then for me, just the one Omni X. I always get questions on why I run the level 7. Some people run the Blitz Omni at like 2.
Yeah.
But one thing the people who do that don't understand is that Blitz Omni can't go for game. It literally cannot go for game. Because the rush doesn't transfer, so you're kind of stuck with like a Blitz Omni. If you pay 6 for the Omni X, it may be 6, but if you pop your members, you can put them to like 4, or if you're already at 3 and you already had your Dorbickmon, put them to 3. Mm-hmm. This says, when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to. So you can pop it, like with the DP boosting, you pop like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19k Digimon, which is crazy. But the most important thing is if you can't kill your opponent with your Dorbickmon, let's just say you swung, right?
Yeah.
And you can't kill them. You literally can't kill them because you didn't have enough security checks or you can't suspend. You can go into Omni X. So instead of being OTK the next turn, you can just remove sources, since Dorbickmon has like 6 sources under, so it can protect itself 3 times. And most OTK attacks swing 1 for like something big, and you can just stop it. This was like the MVP against Wargrade X. They tried to swing to gain back memory. I just removed the source and just said no. This is such an MVP card. This helps against Melga so much, because if they get out before you, or you get out before them, and they push out their Mega, they can kill you, because that's happened to me. I regret it when I took this out for the Ultimate Cup. I removed it because I was like, oh, it's not that good. Until Melga got me down to 1 security, then Blitz Omni, then the new Omni X. Then I realized if I had this with me, then I'd be able to detach and protect myself. So that's why I keep that up. You have your Tamers. I run 1 Tai and 2 Hiro. So a lot of people tell me to run 3 Hiro because like you need the DP threshold, but I feel like 2 Hiro is fine and 1 Tai, because you're not guaranteed all the security attack pieces that you run in your deck. So this just helps you guarantee that extra security attack threshold. Like my opponent had, one of my games, they had 4 security left. I could only swing for 3, and then I had Tai on the board, so that made it 4. So I swung for 4, unsuspend, and swung for game. And the Hiro is just the basic tap for plus 2,000, and it's good to have a Tai out there as well. So you have something that you can't tap that you can like hybrid over. And then we move on to the options. So we have 3 copies of Fireball and 3 copies of Hero of the Sky. So these is your draw power. So I've seen people run Hair of the Dragons and not even touch Hero of the Skies. Hero of the Skies is a draw 2 for 2 costs, just like Fireball. Hair of the Dragons is a 3 cost for draw 2 to pop a Digimon if you have a Greymon on the field with equal to DP. You're never going to have a Greymon, so I told them just run Hero of the Skies because it's better. And why not 4 Fireball and 2 Hero of the Skies? Because these are for 2 different situations. You want to see the Fireball and the Hero of the Skies, because Fireball says delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 if you don't draw 2. Hero of the Skies is just draw 2. You can choose to draw 2. I've had situations where I've had Fireball in my hand, and I want to draw 2 cards because I have enough memory to use it, and then go into Dorbick to get those last 2 pieces. I can't because they have a pointless rookie I don't want to pop on board that it does nothing. And you could do this, and it could be like a Guilmon from like Blue Flare, and they could get their procs off. So it's good to have 3 Hero of the Skies and 2 Fireball, because sometimes you don't want the Fireball's pop effect. If their Digimon on board, their rookie can give them like benefits on deletion with purple or blue. Hero of the Skies, you just choose. It does say give security tech to a crossfire, but you don't run it. You really just run it to choose the draw 2 over the whole popping and then draw 2. So it's more of like a situational thing. Mm-hmm. And then 2 copies of Delicate Plan. Obviously, you're playing an OTK deck. You need the Delicate Plan. You need to, like, you just pop the Memboost, play the Delicate Plan, or if they put you at 4, play the Delicate Plan. You have to, if you have this in your hand, you need to play it. This has got me through so many games where it doesn't matter what deck you're playing against, any deck can have Security Bomb. So you just play the Delicate Plan, you just sweep through the security like that, without anything to worry about. One thing that does screw this deck over, though, is Security Bomb and Security. Just de-digivolves it. And then the last 2 cards are 2 copies of Red Memory Boost. Again, this is like your Memory Boost threshold. You do this, search top 4, either grab like another red source to use or a Dorbickmon if you don't have it, and then just pop it for that extra 2 memory. If you don't have your Tamer, you can go from like 1 to 3. Or if you're at 3, you can go from like 3 to 5, and then you have extra memory to work with. Maybe 2 memory for a hybrid or 2 memory for a Delicate Plan. But I've had both of these on board before where I popped it for 4 and I was at 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, I went up to 7. And like I went off that turn. I got 2 Dorbicks out and a Delicate Plan. That brings us to the end of the deck. That's basically my Dorbickmon OTK deck.
That's really awesome. It sounds like the deck is a lot more flexible than people think at a glance, so like it's very cool.
It's very flexible, but the one issue I hate with this deck is the space.
Right.
is the space. It's the only issue. One thing I've been thinking of running, right, is I feel like it would be a good option. Is either Lava Garita, so I don't have to rely on two. But since I'm gonna take this deck to nationals, I'm taking this deck to nationals in LA. I don't care if PT11s, it'll be legal. I don't care what you play. I'm gonna kill you with Dorbickmon. But I've been thinking, since Wargray X and everything is out, I was thinking of taking out those two security attacks and teching at the Greymon X Antibody.
Okay, yeah, protection's good.
Protection is good against like DP deleting effects, but they could use it.
That's very cool. Thank you for explaining that deck list to us. So over this weekend, you played 2 huge level events. So what would you say were the hardest matchups, and what were the easiest for Dorbick?
Oh my god! Okay, this question is the best question I can answer. It's this deck is good against everything. It has a decent matchup against everything. The only thing it struggles with is decks that block, kind of. But because with this deck you have to rely on the KausGammamon Canoweissmon combination to get over the blocker decks. I added those specifically for Agumon. I lost to Agumon so hard, and I was like, because I couldn't turbo them down fast enough. You got 3 Agumons on me, 3.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I added that. It's mostly blocker decks. You have a decent matchup against anything. The worst decks that you can come across, that will be the worst matchups, is basically it's just Agumon. Literally only Agumon. And maybe in the next set, Black or Gray X. Because it's also like a big blocker with redirect and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
So that could be an issue as well. But I'm gonna have to test with that, and I'll probably let you know if it's good or not. But I'm still gonna bring this whether it's good or not. I'm using this as my orbital shine. So yeah, basically Agumon Melga is trouble too. Melga is a little bit of trouble. It's like a 50-50 on there. If they get their pieces first, and you're kind of done if you get your pieces first. And if you both get your pieces, you maybe wait for them to push out, do the whole security thing. If they die, then they're fine. And if it's on board, you can just Dorbick, pop their stack, and they have to start over, and then you can swing for big damage.
Yeah.
The only reason I won the first match of regional, it was completely by luck because I was about to lose the 3rd round to Melga.
Yeah.
The reason I won is because his stack died, because he protected it 3 times. It was Dorbick, Omnimon X Dorbick.
That's amazing.
And that's the only reason I took it. But then I lost game 2 to some. I haven't seen it before. It was Guilmon, right? It was Black or Gray Guilmon.
Yeah.
But it had a Ragnarlord Dorbick tech in it.
Oh, okay, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, with the Volcdramon End of DNA Digivolve, going to Ragnar by playing the Dorbick, swung at me, trashed both my security, and got the game. I just like that tech was like real. It was a really cool tech. I can give it to him. It was. I can't even be mad I lost to that. I've never seen it before. But my matchups for the I think the regional was Melga, that weird Black War Greymon. I think either I played like, I can't remember what I played after. It was like Grandis or either something that was like OTK a little bit.
Yeah.
And I went through the 8 round. I was on a time crunch too because I had like a party to host at like 7.
Oh, damn.
So glad it finished. I was thinking of dropping too. I was like, oh god,
that's awesome.
Like life over Digimon, but I'm so glad that I managed to get all of it done before 7. It literally finished right at 7.
That's awesome. Good thing that worked
But
out. Yeah.
Because then I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
But this deck has done some amazing things for me, and I think everybody's proud of me for building this. They just hate me because it's so brain dead to use.
Oh no. No, it definitely seems like you gotta at least get used to the deck. 'Cause, like, it's so weird, like all the build and like all the different names, and then like properly managing your hand with like how much it eats up. Yeah.
Yeah. When I played against people.
Yeah.
I told them, it took me months. I kept telling them how it took me weeks to build because they asked how long it took to build that kind of thing.
Cool.
And they're like, yeah, I definitely believe it, because the way I played against the people was when I was building my stack using Dorbick Digicross, I put the cards down without any hesitation.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, I knew exactly what I needed. I knew exactly what I needed to do.
Yeah. Yeah, super familiar with the list. Yeah.
I am. It's like my second son.
That's awesome. Yeah, people love seeing like unique decks like this top, so that's really cool that you're able to do it twice. Yeah. That's sick.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about the Lava Garita or maybe the Greymon X kind of tech in to really help with the protection of the Dorbick stack. Basically, like try to, because most of the time they can swing over it. So maybe that's an issue. But then again, I can just go into the Dorbick, or if I don't have it, because most of the time I've seen it, most decks just either pop it or swing over it.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe I can add maybe the Lava Garita will help, or maybe the Black Greymon for blocker. But I really don't want to have blocker. This deck isn't really focused on defensive. It's more focused on aggression.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to compromise that.
Yeah, and I think Black or Gray X has the ability to like pop Digimon on the field like the lowest DP.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah, when it enters. So I feel like Greymon X would be pretty good against that. Or maybe even like, yeah, because like I'm not worried about popping what they have because they have like protection. They have protection because they gotta get rid of the X Antibody under to protect themselves.
Yeah.
But that's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's basically it. And then I still have to test against the other decks because I want to get this ready for regionals.
Yeah.
So I might actually cut out 2 things for maybe a Lava Garita to, set that memory bar at 2. I don't have to go into like other things. But we're definitely gonna see a lot of like Black or Gray X and like X from like there to nationals, honestly, because the set would be just literally new.
Awesome. Well, that was very in-depth. Thank you so much, Cayden, for talking to us about the list. Is there any closing thoughts? I think it's pretty extensive, but is there anything else you want to include?
I don't think that's it. There is one message I want to include.
Yep.
If you want to play Jank, go ahead and play it. Don't let anybody tell you no. Doesn't matter how good it is, because it could turn out like this.
Yeah.
Just play the deck you want. Don't listen to anybody else.
Yeah. Definitely, that's such great advice. Yeah, people underestimate how important having fun with the deck you're playing can be. Absolutely. Thanks so much, Cayden. Really appreciate you taking time to come on here and do the profile. Congratulations again, because that was an amazing weekend for you. Like, congrats. I hope this deck does well at Nats for you too. So we will see you guys next time. And until then, remember to stay hungry until you get a taste of victory.